Start Gym channel. Today's episode is a roll narration. My partner here is starting in seated guard. He shoots a wrestle up. Let's rewind that just a touch. I am now rewinding, and my partner's in seated position. I love wrestle ups. Okay, it's a beautiful move that he's doing. Look at his right hand here. His right hand's gonna shoot behind my leg. It's behind my knee, and he's gonna use it. He's gonna pull with that right hand. He's gonna try to come up to his knees and feet. Okay, as he comes up to his knees and feet, the best answer, in my opinion, is to sprawl. Okay, you could see that my right foot is on the ground. You're gonna see I'm gonna pick this foot up off the ground, and I'm gonna try to take my weight off the ground and put it on his body. Okay, so of course, if I keep my right foot on the ground, my weight is on the ground. I don't want my weight on the ground. I want it in his hips. Okay, so you're gonna see I'm lifting my right foot off the ground. My right foot is off the ground. You can see I'm driving my knee down towards the ground. He wants that leg up in the air. I want it down on the ground. Okay, so I'm driving in the opposite direction. You could see that I'm pushing with my foot as well. I'm pushing off my left foot. My right foot is off the ground or barely touching the ground, and my knee is driving. I want as much weight in that right knee as possible. You could also see I have a whizzer here. Okay, guys, it's super important that you whizzer and you just balance yourself on top of your opponent. Now, I'll tell you, the sprawl is one of the best moves in all of combat. All of combat. I don't care if you're talking about MMA, wrestling, jiu-jitsu with the gi, without the gi. The sprawl is such a powerful and underutilized maneuver in jiu-jitsu. Okay, in wrestling, it's used brilliantly. It's a staple maneuver. They use it at all levels. However, in jiu-jitsu, I feel that the sprawl is incredibly underutilized. Okay, so make sure to always keep an eye out for the right opportunities to sprawl. Now here, my partner, he abandoned the leg, and you can see that his arm went around my waist. Okay, whenever somebody puts their arm around your waist like so, okay, you can see that he's also pinching his knees. Whenever this happens, guys, it's a simple answer. You just backstep. Okay, you're gonna see me backstep just in a sec. I think it's a really big mistake to pinch your knees like this. Okay, I don't like to pinch my knees like this. I don't teach it this way. I know a lot of black belts who do teach it this way, high level black belts, and they rely on something called the Jedi mind trick to try to avoid the backstep. But I just feel that the Jedi mind trick can work. It's just not as reliable as most people think. Okay, so I just feel he's putting himself in a bit of a bad position. There's my backstep. You can see me backstepping. And now look, if he misses that Jedi mind trick, and I know it's there, right? So I can really avoid it. Now he's in a double trouble. Okay, double trouble is when you sit back in a cross sashi and you have both his legs under your control. You can see now I have both his legs under my control. That's why John Danaher, he calls it double trouble. Okay, your opponent, my position, for instance, in this instance, he has both legs. He can actually break both legs, and also because he has both legs, you have one less leg to defend yourself with. The guy in my position has a lot of control. Okay, you're gonna see me here. I'm going to transition to a foot lock. Here I'm doing an Achilles hold. I'm going foot to foot, causing a lot of pressure on the Achilles, forcing my partner to tap. Now me and my partner are back up on our feet. My partner's going to sit to guard. Let's see what he does here. Okay, he's trying to kind of work a reverse de la Riva here, trying to elevate me. He's going to waiter sweep. Okay, so look, another kind of sweep I don't really like. Okay, so there are some things I don't like in jiu-jitsu, and I'll tell you something. Waiter sweep is, in my opinion, it's kind of old jiu-jitsu. Okay, it's not really happening nowadays in modern jiu-jitsu so much. And I know there's guys out there who are really, really good at waiter sweep. I'm just not a big fan. I find there's a few weaknesses that are quite easy to attack. Okay, guys, did you notice I just did another sprawl? Okay, something I think is very underutilized in jiu-jitsu. Okay, let me rewind here. I'm going to rewind. My partner is doing a good job of elevating me here. You can see he's elevating me. Notice when I sprawl, look, he wants to go into a cross ashi. He wants to do like a kani basami. He wants to jump a scissor from here. Watch how I just kind of sprawl. I just pivot and sprawl my body away from him, forcing him into a stack. That was just another basic sprawl. If I didn't sprawl there, he would have probably got into my legs and started putting me in double trouble. Okay, so just a basic sprawl, it can really defend the most aggressive attacks. The most powerful attacks in jiu-jitsu can be defended with a well-timed sprawl. Here my partner is trying to reverse de la Riva. He's trying to spin underneath, and he gives up the head. Okay, another very important technique. Let me rewind here. I'm going to rewind. Whenever you're playing guard, never let your opponent that's on top of you grab your neck. Okay, there's a great saying in wrestling. In wrestling, they say, if your opponent can control your head, he can control your entire body. Okay, let's play it here. Forward. Look how I slide my left hand behind his neck. From there, I'm going to slide the rest of my arm around his neck. Watch this here. I'm sliding my arm around his neck, and now I have a guillotine. Okay, I have a headlock, front headlock, or guillotine. You could even see that my partner, he did the right thing. Look, he put his foot on my hip. even if he has a partial guard, I'm still going to get past. Why? Because this grip is far superior. This is such a strong grip, guys. Whenever you're passing the guard, try this technique, okay? Try to wrap up the head and kind of like dive forward. You're going to see me dive forward and kind of fall into a headstand, okay? Now, guys, whenever you go into a headstand, it's so important that you train your neck. In Strong and Stable Neck, in my Strong and Stable Neck series, I show you guys how to strengthen your neck doing a very basic headstand. Why? It's not only great for strengthening your neck, it's also proper technique. You can see here I'm standing on my head. It's not unusual for wrestlers to be standing on our head, okay? You have your feet for base, you have your knees for base, your elbows, your hands, your shoulders, and your head. The head is a very important locomotion point or base, okay? Base is just any body part you use to touch the ground, okay? That's called base. I'm using my head here to balance myself. Now, even if I go over the top, which I'm sure I will, because you can see here I've reached a point of no return, it's not a problem. Watch how I'm going to base on my head. I'm going to bridge and base on my head. Okay, let's see here. You can see I'm already starting to bridge and base on my head. Okay, wrestlers all bridge on their head. Grapplers don't. Grapplers don't. I teach this all the time to my jiu-jitsu athletes, and very few of them, I would say 50%, never adopt bridging on their head. They have an aversion to bridging on their head. You can see here I'm bridging on my head. Let's see what happens next here. I got a small glitch. Okay, here we go. I'm bridging on my head. It's going to allow me to get on top. Okay, so look, just basically, whenever you bridge on your head, let me rewind here. Okay, so I'm falling over the top here. I'm going to bridge on my head. Whenever you bridge on your head, the reason why we bridge on our head is because it lifts our hips up in the air. Now that my hips are up in the air, I don't need the head bridge anymore. I'm just going to get to my toes here and I'm going to get on top. Okay, so make sure you, after practice, after rolling, you're warmed up, you're sweaty, you finished rolling, and it's time for you to train your neck. Do some headstands, okay? So basic headstands. Make sure you do a proper technique so you don't hurt your neck, and build yourself a strong base using your head, your neck and head. It's a very important and underutilized maneuver in jiu-jitsu. And I feel like I teach it a lot, but a lot of my students don't do it because they're not used to putting pressure on their head and neck. That's why. When they try to bridge on their neck, they give up. Why? Because it's too much pressure. They're not used to having that much pressure. You can develop your neck very, very safely. And in my opinion, it's a must to become a good wrestler and grappler. If you want to be really, really like as good as you can be, this is a very important locomotion point or basing type control. Okay, guys, I got an underhook here. I snap my partner down. I'm going to sit to a guillotine. That's a high elbow guillotine. And there's another great example. Okay, so look here. I'm bridging on my head again. You can see I'm bridging on my head. And when you bridge on your head, that lifts your hips. Okay, that's another great example. Let me rewind here. Let me rewind. Okay, we're going to rewind video. Okay, so I got a snap down. I'm bringing my partner down to the mat. I decided to go into a high elbow guillotine. When you go into a high elbow guillotine, okay, it's not uncommon for my opponent to roll with the choke. Okay, he's going to kind of roll on himself like so, and that's going to unwind the choke, right? He's just going to spiral away from me. When he does that, it's a very good defense. That's actually the correct defense for him to utilize in this situation. When he does that, you're going to see I'm going to follow him. Okay, as he rolls, I immediately abandon the choke, and look how I bridge on my neck. Okay, I bridge on my head and neck, and that's going to allow for my hips to come up in the air. Okay, we talked about if you bridge on your neck, you're going to get those hips up in the air. Now you can see his hips are down here. They're on the floor. His head is below, and his hips are below. He's not going to be able to get on top. I'm going to get on top every time from this position, okay? Because I have a much shorter distance to cover. Now here you can see this is a choke I love to do. I showed this many times on this channel, so I'm going to skip it today. But it's one of my favorite chokes. I catch it all the time at all levels. It's a fantastic choke from side control, mainly because it doesn't risk position. If I get it or I don't get it, I'm still in side control. Me and my partner are back on our feet. He's a guard player. You could tell he loves the reverse de la Hiva. And from here, you'll notice, I have my right leg, the inside leg, up. Okay, now this is a great example. You know, whenever you fight somebody who does reverse de la Hiva, they're all great spinners. Okay, he wants to spin under my leg here. He wants to get in this little gap here. You see this gap that's created for my legs here? He wants to slide into that. And it's a good technique, guys. He wants to slide into this space here. Now, all I got to do to stop that, it's not complicated. Look how I base on my hand, I base on my knee, and I kind of like shrimp out this way. Okay, I want to shrimp away from him. It's very important when I'm shrimping away, I keep my hand on his ankle and push him in the opposite direction. Okay, it's really important. Okay, so I'm shrimping in this direction, and I'm locking his ankle and pushing him in the opposite direction. I'm going to rewind it so you guys can get a really good look at it. Let me rewind right here. I'm rewinding. Okay, so here it is. He's playing reverse De La Riva. I have my right knee up, my inside leg up, and I know he wants to spin. When he starts to spin, look, I'm just going to back away from him. I'm going to limp leg. It's going to make it very hard for him to bolo. Very, very difficult because I'm holding his ankle and I'm creating so much distance. And now look, I've closed the distance on him. So this is what we call distance control. I want to be too far or too close. Now I'm really close, but you'll notice I have my right arm. It's hard to see in this shot. My right arm is underhooking his left leg. So I have control over his left leg. As long as I have control over that left leg, he could not spin underneath me. Okay, let's see if he gets his leg back in. He's working his leg back in. I'm still kind of controlling it. It's a fight for control here. He's regained control of his leg. I'm fighting for that ankle. Here he tries to wrestle up again. And now here, look, this is like, I could see the trouble coming. You can see now I'm closing the distance. I'm going to slide probably to a body lock here. Or no, here I'm doing a X pass. Guys, make sure to check out my X pass made simple video. It's a fantastic video. Here, my partner's going to regard. He's trying for a reverse arm bar. There's my knee sliding inside, and this is a big problem for him. Okay, you can see that I'm ear to ear, chest to chest. This is a GSP type passing position. Okay, GSP made this style of passing famous. He's done it in MMA and of course in jiu-jitsu. And here I'm gonna go into a body lock. This is all GSP style type passing. Okay, GSP tortures the entire practice room with this kind of passing. He's probably the best smash passer in the world. In my opinion, MMA especially, no doubt, but even in jiu-jitsu, George's smash passing ability is quite incredible. Okay, you don't want to be in a smash pass position on the bottom with a guy like George St. Pierre. So here I am. I'm trying that X pass again. I'm trying to fatigue my partner here, going left and right, throwing his legs by. There it is. There's another type of GSP style pass. Okay, I cover this also in my Passing Made Simple. Let me rewind here. Okay, you guys are going to see something really, really cool here. Okay, you can see I'm going from like a loose passing to a tight passing. Look at this. Whenever you tight pass, okay, remember this rule, okay? Whenever your partner's shoulders and back are off the mat, okay, you can see that I'm tight passing, but his shoulders and back are off the mat. Make sure that your head is below his shoulders, okay? If my head was in this position here, I would get swept. He would easily sweep me. He would tip me over the top with any butterfly hook, real easy, okay? But because my head is below the shoulder, okay, below the shoulder and or in the chest, okay, because I want to avoid the guillotine, but now you can see I'm around his arm, okay? He can't guillotine me here because I'm around his arm. You can see that his arm is on the inside, okay? He cannot sweep me. I should say it's incredibly difficult for him to sweep me. You can see that I'm going to be body locking him here soon. I'm underhooking. I'm going into a GSP style pass. And then once his back is on the floor, remember I said if his back is off the floor, we go low with our head. If his back is on the floor, now it's time to go ear to ear. Okay, what we call ear-to-ear position or head-high position. And you can see now I'm driving my head forward. And now my partner's doing a good job of shrimping. He actually did a very good job of defending here. He put his butterfly hooks back in. Actually, here it is. I'm able to probably pass over here. Yep, I'm here to chest. Okay, so it was quite a nice little battle there. He did a good job with his hooks. Now I have a guillotine here. He turned to his knees. I'm going to probably wrap him up with my legs over his arm. This is a very tight guillotine. Guys, let me give you a little gem, okay? How do you know if your guillotine is going to work? You got the guy in the guillotine. Should you squeeze? Should you not squeeze? You know, what should you do? Should you squeeze everything you got and go for the Hail Mary and go for the sub? Or should you attempt to sweep? The number one indicator that you're going to get the guillotine is if your grip is strong, okay? So I feel like I have a strong grip. It looks good from here, even though we can't see the hands. My arms tell me that it's in a good position. The second most important indicator is the top of his head is touching the ground. If the top of his head is touching the ground, you have this type of 90-degree angle here. See this 90-degree angle? Guys, it is very hard to breathe if your partner's body is in this 90-degree angle, okay? How do I get this 90-degree angle? I need the top of his head on the ground. So that's the top of his head. You can see it's touching the ground. I could tell you that this guy is going to tap, okay, because of that angle. If you put the top of his head on the ground, he's going to tap, okay? All right, we're back to our feet. Let's see if we get any wrestling action here. Here I'm going to be shooting those ankles. You guys know I love to shoot low singles. I've showed this many times on this channel. I love to shoot a low single. There it is. I'm going to submarine. I've showed this many, many times. I'm going to holster the foot. This is a maneuver I've done thousands of times. I just do it all the time. Really, it's a fantastic takedown. It takes a long time to, maybe not too long of a time to get used to it, but it's definitely sometimes a lot easier than getting into a double leg. Why? Because the guillotines, the darces, the anacondas, they're very scary. Okay, but when you shoot a low single, it's a lot harder for him to be able to catch you with one of those chokes. Okay, guys, here I'm just going to give you guys a little, just let me rewind here. Guys, whenever you're struggling like this, like I'm on top, he's on the bottom, he's trying to get up, I'm trying to pin him down, just step over the head. I cover this in the Control Freak. It's such a great maneuver. Look, when you step over the head, look how dominant of a position that is. You're just sitting on top of the guy. My hands are now free. Like when you sit on top of somebody like this, you're covering the head. You're controlling him with just your legs. It's an insane amount of control. Okay, so make sure when you're side control, step over the head, try to sit on top, and of course the Kimura is staring you right in the face. Okay, I cover this in the Kimura Made Simple, Kimura Made Easy. There it is. I slid my leg inside his arm. I'm going to close the triangle. Here I'm pulling on his elbow, and you're going to see here I'm grabbing the foot. Okay, when you grab the foot, this is a Braulio Estima detail. Okay, he taught this to me. It's a fantastic maneuver. He made this up. It's an incredibly tight triangle. Okay, there's a lot of details to triangle. Okay, I cover it in Kimura Made Simple. It's a really, really strong combination. You can see you get an instant tap. All right, we're back on our feet. Faking the shots here. My partner's shooting, and time is up. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I always enjoy doing these videos with you guys, and I hope you guys took something positive from this video, and I hope it improves your game. Thank you very much.